Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am Cupid and today's reading is all about your villain era. Yes, right, you're a villain. If you clicked on this reading, your villain era has either begun or it is about to begin. So I decided, why not get the tea on what your villain era is all about. All right, so I'm excited because for this reading we have 3 images to choose from, we have 3 objects to choose from, and we also have some channeled songs for each. Well, we just have one channeled song for each group, so I thought that would be really fun. The channeled song really just snuck up on me. I was listening to some music while I set up for the reading, and the first song, it just perfectly fit kind of the vibe or the energy of where this reading is going, being a villain. And then literally in succession, 3 songs in a row, I felt were like right on the reading. So I was like, these have to be our channel groups or the channel songs for our groups. So anyway, if you want to check those songs out, they will be in the description box. Okay. And I think that's it. Before we get into the groups, I do want to just give the usual disclaimer that this reading is for a large unseen collective. So if a message does not resonate, leave it. It is probably for somebody else. Only take what does, okay? I like to say that you know your story more than I do. I am just reaching into the ether, into the unknown, about the unknown, which is you all, right? I don't even know who's going to watch this reading. So enough of that. Let's get into the group. So for your images today, we have group 1. This is like a heart, a silver heart charm. It is relatively heavy for group 1. Group 2 is this cross with a little man, a little Jesus man on it. Right, that's group 2. And group 3 is going to be this silver lock. This is like a diary lock, like the type of lock you would see on those cute little diaries. We don't get those anymore. Or maybe we do. I just don't go shopping. Group 3, the silver lock. So once again, group 1 is the heart, group 2 is the cross, group 3 is the lock. And if you want to choose from the images, you'll be able to see them shortly. Make sure to pause and meditate if you need to. And all timestamps for each group will be in the description box below. So catch you guys at your reading. Group 1, welcome to your reading. You have chosen either the first image or you have chosen this heart charm, okay? So, group 1, your villain era is all about you doing the unexpected, right? I'm getting this vibe that there was a person or some people, right? And to me, when we say era, this is big deal, big change, big picture. So for many of you, this is maybe 2+ people in the past who in their mind felt like you were going to not have something. They thought you were going to be without something. They thought you were going to turn out a way that would put you at a disadvantage, okay? And your villain era is all about showing them that they were wrong, right? Not only will you receive what they feel like you wouldn't receive, but they're going to be the one without, right? So let's just talk about it. The first card we have here is Noon, right? And so when I pulled this card, I heard, what did I hear? Oh, I forgot. Damn it. I definitely heard going back, right? Going back, right? Because noon, right after 12 p.m., it's 1 p.m., right? It starts over again. So there's a going back. Oh yeah, I heard unexpected, and I heard U-turn, right? Because there's this going back energy. Going back to something that I feel, like I said, was denied from you. Something was either you had it and it was taken away, or you could have had it but it was denied. Somebody determined that you were not worth it, that you were not the person they should give this to, or you were not somebody who deserves to receive whatever this was. This could be affection, this could be love, this could be partnership, right? Because I'm seeing that this has to do with you being in relationships. Okay, this could even just be friendships, but somebody felt like you would not be in love, or you would not find love. Somebody had it in their head that nobody would love you, right? Or that you couldn't have happy relationships, you couldn't have a good relationship. Somebody wanted to believe this idea or paint this picture that you're just this dysfunctional person, or there's something inherently dysfunctional about being in relationships with you, right? Because with noon, I'm seeing that you know, your path being redirected, shifting, right? And then noon also makes me think of just like the fact that it's the halfway point in the day, right? And that makes me think of shifts. That makes me think of choices, right? Crossroads. And so it's like when you get to that halfway point, you know, you're kind of like at a place where you check yourself. You check, you know, what have you done and what will you do? What path will you take? And so they had it set out in their mind that you were going to take a specific path, a path that they already knew, a path that was familiar to them. But turns out you're actually doing something different. And the fact that I said that, like, familiar to them, this is somebody who maybe was projecting some of their own cycles that they've been through in their life, right? Because when I think of a clock, it's this cyclical time machine, right? It just starts over and starts over and starts over and starts over. And so this person, it's like they assumed your life was going to go a certain way, you know, probably similar to the cycles they've gone through, the things they've went through. This could be a parent, this could be a close friend, sibling, somebody who was really close to you, somebody who was personal with you, you know, personable. They projected this idea that, you know, your life was going to go a certain way. And with noon, it's like actually it's turning out to go a different kind of way. It's actually turning out better than they could have hoped, right? Because, you know, you can think of it kind of like the cup half full or half empty, right? Somebody could think of it as, you know, it's noon, right? It's 12 p.m. So you could think, oh, the day is almost over, right? Or the day is halfway over. We've already lost half the day. But you could think of it as a glass half full situation where you're like, we still have more time, right? There's still more time in the day, right? There's still time to make better choices. There's still time to redirect, right? This person, it's like they had this half empty, like you're losing time kind of mentality where you're not operating like that, right? So your villain era is kind of like all about the fruits of just not thinking like that, like the fruits of you know, believing in yourself and being positive in yourself, right? Doing what they couldn't do, right? And that's why they didn't expect you to do it, because they couldn't do it, right? Or they believe they couldn't do it, okay? Here we have Two of Cups. Like I said, this person or some people, they, for whatever reason, felt like this is something that you couldn't have. You're showing up as having this. The way this man is holding this woman's waist and the back of her head, it looks so protective. Like this is such a protective embrace, right? Because like it's like guarding you, right? Cradling you, right? Guiding you. You know what I mean? So having somebody who values you and cherishes you, your villain era is you resting in that. And then right beneath this, we have the sun, being happy because of it. And in so many ways, like I feel like being nurtured, because when you look at the sun, you see this young boy. It's like having the freedom, having the security, having the love to, in some ways, revert back to your childhood, and in whatever way that means for you, whether that's picking up old hobbies or, healing old wounds. It's like you have the room and the freedom and the protection to get back to this inner child and like make peace with it and find happiness, right? And I love underneath this Queen of Swords, right? I feel like this happiness is protected. It's guarded by you, right? This is what's also going to be unexpected and a part of your villain era, is that you're not going to be this, like, on the surface, you're not going to be leading with harshness. You're not trying to be a bitch, right? You're not going to be mean, but at the same time, it's like this happiness, this soft life, right? Like for some of you, this is a soft life I'm getting. This soft life is going to be heavily protected, and that's what makes it villainous, right? Like you have a fortress around your love, right? The love. And I feel like that's why this is so heavy. I feel like this is why this is so heavy. It's a heart, and it's like, this is also like a cage. Like you can go in here, and I mean, you really can't get anything in or out of here. But like, this is like bars on a window, right? Your love has a fortress around it, right? Your peace is fortified, right? And so I'm getting like this ice queen. I'm getting like Elsa, right? Like, and maybe you're not as cold as Elsa, but like, to get inside your castle, somebody has to travel through snow and storm. They have to skate on ice. They gotta avoid frostbite, right? And the sharp icicles that are, falling from the ceiling. Like, you're not evil or mean, but you're definitely hard to get to, because what it is that you, like I said, are either you're already in this or you're stepping into this. This is something that you have earned, is what I'm getting. You've gone through enough, and you deserve this happiness. And so with just with these 3 cards here, it's like you're getting exactly what they said you wouldn't get, which is this love, this peaceful, happy, soft life. And nobody is going to be able to come in and just take it from you. This is not something that's easily disturbed, right? You know how some people can just pull up at people's houses? You're not that type of person. People can't just pull up to your house on a random Saturday, right? If they do that, you're not answering the door. And if you do, you're telling them to go home, right? It's not cute, right? Nice to see you, but, right? People have to approach you a specific way, abide by certain rules, right? Here we have Temperance. So I feel like that's what it is. It's like there's this balance here. Your villain era is all about maintaining this balance in your energies, right? With this Queen of Cups underneath. I love how there's a Queen of Swords under here and then a Queen of Cups under here, right? So with this Temperance, it's like I'm hearing that song by Marina and the Diamonds. Oh my God, that's another song for you, Group 1. Marina and the Diamonds, Believe in Love, right? It's like with the Queen of Cups, you are still, you're maintaining this softness. You're not letting hurt and betrayal, and whatever games people wanted to play in the past, and you're not letting the people's negative expectations of you. You're not letting any of that change how you feel, right? You're not letting that sour you or turn you into this mean, cynical person, right? You still want to believe in love, but that means having tougher boundaries. That this is what I say, if you really believe in love, then you will have firm boundaries that you abide by. When you have a lack of boundaries, it is because you are afraid that the love you want does not exist. Okay? And so it's like, no, you're not giving up your belief in love. You're not giving up what you want. You're just going to play a different game. You're just going to rewire how you operate. You're just going to have a different strategy in how you approach this nonsense, right? With this Five of Swords, right? You're just going to have a different approach on how you deal with this conflict, right? Because you really, you know, you're not going to, because sometimes people really just want your energy. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you're going to keep it sweet with the Temperance. You're going to keep it cute, right? You're coming from a place of strategy, staying grounded, so that you can discern reality from fiction, from confusion. Okay? It's because you're serious. You're serious about this peace. This peace is your main focus. It's not love, right? And that's these people over here, because these cards are about those people. So we're going to get into them. But those people are so busy worried about something you're not worried about. They don't understand how you can still have love and be cherished after all they projected onto you. And it's because all that don't mean shit. What mattered was how you felt about yourself, right? You weren't chasing love. You were after peace. You were cultivating peace. And when you cultivate peace in yourself, you attract love. You attract abundance. You attract peace. Right? You attract peacefulness. So they couldn't take love from you. Because when you're peaceful, you are loved, whether you have a partner or not. You're not rolling around and discontent and sitting in drama. You're solution oriented, because that's what peace is. Peace is about solutions. Peace is not about prolonging conflict unnecessarily over ego, right? Because that's what people don't understand. That is, when you project that somebody can't be this and they can't be that, and you get jealous easily because somebody got their nails done or their hair did and you wore sneakers, and you know, if you're always in this weird competitive, sad, you know, victimized energy, you are sowing discontent. You are antagonistic, even if you're passive about it. Right? So that's why, like, it could be a parent who just won't believe in you. You're telling them that you love to sing, but because they don't think singing matters and they don't think you can do anything with that, they're just constantly always brushing it off. That is sowing discontent. You're being antagonistic. You know what I mean? But anyway, we have the Four of Pentacles here, and I love this image because this is exactly what I'm talking about. This woman is asleep, and I love how her head is turned away, right? And just the placement of her body, even though she is resting, she is in some ways putting boundaries between herself and this man who is trying to wake her up, who is trying to disturb her, right? And I know, like, people might not always necessarily see this image as that. I mean, I feel like the other way you can see it is him, like, looking over her as she sleeps. It's still the same message, that this Four of Pentacles, this peaceful life, this soft life that you have cultivated, it is being guarded, right? It is not, you are not out in the open, right? Is what I'm seeing, right? Your life is not accessible. There is some type of boundary in place to allow you to rest, right? To allow you to relax. You could be coming out of a time of a lot of stress, a lot of conflicts in your life, right? Your villain era is all about you being undisturbed. People can't disturb you. You're out of reach. And because of that, you're able to take care of yourself in ways that you could not before. You are going to be loved and poured into in ways that you were not before. Okay? here we have cry. I feel like I should look at all these cards at the same time. So here we have cry. Then this here, I'm going to start here. It says not what you think. And then right underneath that, we had what can hibernation do for you in reverse, and then it's your show in reverse. So first off with the cry card, I'm not going to lie, when I first got this, I did see you maybe not literally crying, but definitely being in pain or distress or sorrow in the past, right? Being in a place where you were in this energy, right? And somebody wanting you to stay in this energy, right? I feel like somebody, you know, a part of your villain era is that you're no longer in this energy of crying. But when I picked up the card, we had date underneath in reverse. And so I feel like whoever, one of these people, right? And I feel like this is why this is like a little cluster, because one of these people, if this is like multiple people who kind of projected this, they had negative expectations of you, a specific person, part of your villain era is that you are not going to be available to them in so much of a way that it causes them some type of deep disappointment or heartbreak, right? Mainly because this is somebody who you either did date or maybe sort of tried to date. Maybe you guys talked a little, but they wanted to play games with you. This is somebody who wanted to have you be the one begging and crying, and now they no longer have access. This is somebody who, what they really wanted to do, for whatever reason, they felt like they couldn't do it unless you were at a lower level. And now that they're seeing you in your villain era in this like higher level, or at this higher level, now that they're seeing that there's no easy way to you, it almost makes them feel ashamed of themselves, not necessarily for what they did, but for what it makes them look like, right? For how it affects them and their image, right? What it means about them. That's what they're really like kind of crying about, what it means about them, you know? And mainly just being wrong. They feel like they're going to see themselves as fundamentally wrong. Part of your villain era is like really humbling this person and showing them that they really don't know what they think they know, right? Because the first card here, these cards were all together, but then both of these cards pulled at one time, and I thought it was one card. And then this one was just here, and I looked at it, and I just feel like it all ties together. So the first card was not what you think. So this person, part of your villain era, this person is realizing that they don't know shit, right? Like, they're seeing that just because they projected things onto you doesn't make them a psychic. It doesn't make them a know-it-all, right? They don't know anything. They were wrong the whole time, and they're seeing that there's so much more they can learn by humbling themselves, right? They're realizing that people are dynamic and people are multifaceted. They can do many things and they can go in many directions. Just because you write somebody off to be one way doesn't mean they're actually going to be that way, right? And then underneath here, I thought this was so interesting. So it's like, what can hibernation do for you, right? This is where they're really being called out. Because remember when I said that they wanted you to be in this lower position in order for them to date you? They wanted you to be in this position where you are like, where they don't have to respect you as much, right? And I feel like with this card, part of it was them being unavailable, right? They felt like them being unavailable to you, like I said, with hibernation, right? They felt like if they were unavailable to you, that would give them the leverage that they needed to, you know, be the superior one in the relationship, right? And a part of this is like, they casted truths about you. They made decisions about who you were based on the plan that they wanted to execute, right? And honestly, it's so ridiculous. It's like they had a plan they wanted to execute, and then they casted you in a role with no regard to whether or not you actually fit that role, right? They just decided who you would be and was like, yeah, you're going to turn out like this. You're going to be this type of person. You're going to have this kind of life, when they really didn't even know you. They just wanted to act out this scenario. And the only way they're going to act out the scenario and it goes in their favor is if you are this person that they want you to be. It's really backwards, right? And that's why it's like in reverse, because hibernation did not benefit them. Being unavailable and playing mind games on you and trying to neglect you or trying to make you feel, unworthy, that didn't work on you. And it's your show in reverse. Spirit is saying like this, they don't run shit. This is not their show. Your life is not for them to decide, right? Your life is not their canvas. They don't have any authority over what you are or what you will be or who will love you, right? And I think like that's your villain air, is like kind of humbling this person, right? Being out of reach, right? And I do feel like this is just one of maybe a couple other people who were projecting just these negative outcomes onto you. And maybe it was more people than that who just had it in their head that maybe you were going to have this chaotic love life, or you would never settle down, or you would never, I don't know. But your villain era is basically just giving them a rude awakening that they don't really know what they're talking about, and they really need to work on their own life, because it's all projection. It's all projection, because I don't see anything here about why you would deserve to not be loved. So anyway, I do want to pull one card from the message jar for you to take away from this, group 1. So Spirit, please give us one card for group 1, a message that they can take with them from this reading. One message for group 1. One message for group 1. One message. Okay, we got a message. Ooh. This is like a real fortune cookie, okay, with numbers on the back. Let's look at the numbers. One number is 1, 9, 24, 44, 46, 49. Okay. I'm interested if any of that resonated. All right. So the message says, your efforts in a critical area will soon be rewarded. Your efforts in a critical area will soon be rewarded. So I love that, because Spirit is just letting you know that you've done so much work on yourself. You've dealt with things that they don't even really understand, right? This is somebody who they made up a narrative about you, and they don't even know who you are. They don't know what you've been through, and they don't know what you've worked on. And you're just being reminded that you are on the right path, and you are going to be rewarded, right? You have been doing what is necessary, and that is why you do get this love. That is why you do get this soft life, because that's what you've been putting in the work for. Remember I said they're wondering how you get to have this soft life. And it's because you did what you needed to do for yourself. You worried about you. You worried about your mindset, and you worried about your efforts that you put into your own life. They don't know what you do behind the scenes. But anyway, that's all I have for you today, group 1. If you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment. And if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then go ahead and subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, group 1. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen either the second image or this silver cross with a little Jesus on it. So I feel like your object ties into your reading so well, group 2. your villain era is all about keeping your circle small. I heard keeping it close, right? And we see that here with this Four of Pentacles, but we do have to start from the beginning. I feel like you are coming out of a time where you were betrayed, possibly by either one friend or a group of friends, right? The first card out was friendship. And in this image, we see like two girls here. They're holding hands. They have like their arms around each other. And they're talking to this rabbit. And it's like interesting to me because this card always does kind of look like you're in therapy, right? And so I feel like you have a friendship or past friendship where there were issues probably that you guys needed to resolve. Maybe you didn't resolve it. Maybe you guys needed some type of mediation, but you didn't get it. Maybe there was just no communication at all. I'm just seeing maybe, and then we have shape shifting underneath. So I feel like maybe one or both of you just started to change in this friendship. But and if this is like with the whole group, because I see you have friends now, or you're going to have friends, right? You're going to have either a better circle or a smaller circle. But I'm seeing part of your villain era is like, it has to do with how you treat your friendships, right? And perhaps your friendships in this new era are going to be more in alignment with you. Maybe there's going to be better compatibility, right? Maybe compatibility just became an issue with some of these past friendships. But I do feel like the bigger issue here is not even that the friendship ended, it's how it ended. Your issue is that you had friends that betrayed you. I'm seeing that this is more so about dealing with bad friends, right? Untrustworthy friends. I feel like whoever this friend was, or friends that you grew apart from, or some issue developed between you, these people made a choice to betray you in some way. They made a choice to hurt you in some way, right? And I feel like that's why there's this mediator here, because it's painful, because this is trauma, right? When you go to therapy, it's to deal with things that you feel like you can't necessarily deal with on your own. Think through things with somebody there to help kind of like navigate through these thoughts, right? The processing of them. These are people that betrayed your trust, okay? And with Four of Pentacles, right? I heard preserve, right? I'm even thinking about how a spider will wrap their prey after they come into the web, right? In some ways, preserving that kill, right? Keeping it in its place, and also holding it until they're ready to eat it, right? And so it's like your villain era is about finding ways to preserve, not just the connections that you have, but the security that you have within those connections, right? You are going to be operating a lot more defensively in this villain era when it comes to connections that you make, right? And this can extend beyond friendships, right? It may be that friendships taught you this lesson, but you carry this lesson into how you deal with coworkers, how you deal when you're dating. This is how you deal with family, where you are very limiting regarding who and what you tell or provide information to, right? You keep your circle small. When Pentacles, I often think about information as well, like books or notes or writing, even just bodies of information. I feel like when you know who to tell a secret to, you limit who you give good news to, right? How you operate is very minimal. You have a circle where you have an inner circle or a tight circle that you operate within, no matter what type of environment you're dealing with, right? Ooh, I love how there's this Nine of Pentacles, because I feel like for some of you, somebody in this era is going to see you as like a ghost. They're going to feel like you went ghost, right? You just disappeared and are, on your own, right? With this Nine of Pentacles, able to take care of yourself. You don't need no team. You don't need no squad. You're good all by yourself, and people don't see you anymore. But it's like, people do see you, right? The people you want to see you with the Four of Pentacles, right? You're not just giving any and everybody your time anymore. You're not, you don't, like, it's like you go from being one of those people that you got a big group of friends. It's like 20 of y'all, right? Y'all, all 20 of y'all close, right? No shade to people who have friendships like that. But there are people out there who have large friend groups where all of y'all are just so close and just have known each other for so long. And something happens and now you're like, look, I don't need 20 friends. I got 4. I got 4 friends. I'm good. Right? Having 20 friends became too much of a problem, too much of a headache. Something happened where it was like you learned that less is more. When it comes to intimacy, closeness, community, sometimes less is more. We have this Justice card here. So like I said, your villain era is about making something right? This is karmic. You're responding to something. Your villain era is you making adjustments to how you move in response to something that has happened. And this could make you a villain because certain people don't have access to you anymore. This could make you a villain because certain people have to pay some type of price, some type of debt. They have to deal with some specific consequence because of what happened. This can make you a villain because you don't see people the same. Some people can be real sensitive when you don't see them the same, but it's like, those were your actions, right? Like, and so, delivering justice, your villain era is about making sure that justice is served. Things are not going to go back to how they were, right? Whatever happened. And look, I'm going to be honest. I'm getting a specific scenario about somebody sleeping with somebody's boyfriend, right? Or a friend or somebody was messing with somebody's man. Okay. Ooh, that's one specific story that's kind of coming into my peripheral. But if that's not exactly your story, that's fine. The other details, that's really what matters in terms of alignment. But yeah, like it's like somebody did something kind of underhanded, kind of sloppy, kind of messy, and wanted you to just forgive it or let it go, right? But with the Justice card, you're not letting it go. In fact, more than not letting it go, you changed operations, right? You have rewrote the script. You're doing something different now. And this is offensive. This can be offensive to people because they want to just apologize, right? They just want to apologize and go back to how things were before. And it's like, that's not how we do it over here, Bookie. We don't do that, right? Like, you think we finna just get back in the Jeep? No, boo. I'm going to call a Uber and I'm going to go home and you can go over there, right? We're going to be on our separate ways after that. Some people are perfectly fine not learning lessons. Some people are perfectly fine just saying, oops, and then doing the same over and over. So when they see you rewrite what you're about to do, when they see you re-strategize, when they see you actually like interpret data and then restructure your programming, like they're like, oh wait, you can do that? Yes, I'm going to do something else now. I'm not going to keep doing the same stupid stuff. I'm not going to keep letting you disappoint me. I'm not going to keep getting hurt. I'm not going to keep, because let's say this scenario is your scenario, right? Where you found out a friend was messing with somebody you were talking to behind your back, and maybe even worse, maybe a couple other friends in the friend group knew about it and they were kikiing and ha-haing and bonding over the drama, that they're concocting behind the scenes that affects your life. And then when you find out, they want to just be able to say, we're sorry, it didn't mean anything. We just thought it would be funny. What? Oh, guys don't mean anything. You know, guys are just whatever. You know, they want to play you. Like, they want to play you like you're just making it a big deal. And they don't expect you to just cut them off. You know what I'm saying? With the Ace of Wands here, I feel like your villain era, you don't have a heart. I'm joking. Like, it's not even like that. It's not even like that. But with the Ace of Wands, I see you being like really vigilant. I'm getting like this vigilant energy. Like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm not dealing with that. It's like my guards are up and I'm ready to pop. I'm ready to defend myself, right? I'm ready to defend myself. I'm ready to stand on what I'm doing, because y'all playing, right? And I feel like whoever these people are in your villain era, they have a hard time with this energy. Okay? I feel like there's a big energy basically just spelling out over and over that they thought that they were just going to have access to you. And I do think there was this underlying jealousy, right? Judas with the Jesus on the cross. It's like this is somebody or some people in the circle that underneath it all, they have some issue with you, or they have some ulterior motive with you. They're lying, right? They're two-faced. They're not who they really say they are. And they don't really truly expect you to just cut them off, or to know it's them, right? And I feel like with the Ace of Wands, I feel like you're just not going to let them get away with it, is what I'm getting, right? I'm also getting thrown under the bus. These are people, maybe these people threw you under the bus in some way, right? Burned you at the stake, crucified you, right? I'm getting, because the wands here, it's like a similar image. It's like a similar cross image, right? But it's like on fire. And so it's like you have this vindictive energy because they threw you under the bus, right? You were a scapegoat somehow in this situation, even though they're the ones who betrayed you. With the Seven of Swords, they can't even look at you because they did something so shameful, right? Who knows what this is? I do feel like the scenario I said earlier, I do feel like that's for somebody. For others, I feel like there was some type of covenant behind your back. Some type of agreement. There was some type of agreement of some sorts behind your back, right? Some type of conspiring and being complicit to hurt you behind your back. And so now, your villain era, you gotta keep watch. With this card here, I feel like this makes me think of like, ooh, with checkmate underneath. Okay, so like when you have a small circle, guess what? Your vantage is probably a lot clearer, right? You can see things a lot clearer. You can manage things a lot clearer. You don't have so much going on. You don't have so many people in your face calling you, saying this, doing that. You feel more secure because you can kind of see all the pieces on the board. You're in this energy in your villain era where you are making sure you can see everything you need to see. Nobody's finna sneak up on you, is what I'm getting, right? Nobody's finna sneak up on you, right? You see them before they see you. I feel like this definitely makes you a villain for sure, because it's going to make you intimidating, right? I heard run a tight ship. You're not going to be loosey-goosey with your energy, right? You're not going to do any last minute hangouts. You're not going to be dropping a bunch of money just because somebody forgot their wallet. You're not going to be doing that, right? I feel like your energy is going to be so, I don't want to say ruthless, but it's so guarded that it's like rising from the dead. It's like this phoenix burning with this like inner rage, right? This need to protect yourself, right? This need to defend yourself, right? Because I feel like you didn't consent. You didn't consent to being nobody's sacrifice, nobody's scapegoat, you know? Lastly, here we have doors or walls that can be moved. So this is also going into, like I said, taking agency over your life, right? Taking control, right? And I love how travel light is underneath this, because this is about making the decision to shut people out, right? A door can be closed, a door can be open. This is a wall that can be moved, right? A door allows you to make a decision on whether you want to open it up or close it, right? If something's not working out, you can shut that avenue, that path to you. You can cut it off so that your energy is no longer accessible to certain people, right? And your villain era is like really taking advantage of that power. These people felt like you couldn't take advantage of that power. They felt like they were going to, I guess, be messy with you forever, right? Like it's just, people are weird like that. Like, were they gonna just be messy with you? Y'all were just gonna be friends and just keep beefing? Just be beefing forever with your friends secretly, like wondering why they're not doing this. Why are they treating you like that? Why are they whispering? Why is this? Like, who wants to be in that energy, right? But that's why that travel light is here. It's like, you don't want to deal with that. You dropping that off at the door. Like, you're not dealing with that. If y'all are going to be weird or whatever, you don't need it, right? Like I said, you're going to keep your circle lights. You're keeping your circle light and tight. Small. 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need, if you have a friend group that can't fit in one car, you have a posse. That's an army. Y'all need to divide and conquer. I don't know. But I feel like that's your villain era. Your villain era is really just cutting out these people and having a smaller group of acquaintances or friends. You're not going to be as accessible to people anymore. You're not going to be as available for people to kind of, I don't know, use you. I'm not seeing, it's like I see somebody messing with the guy you're talking to, but it's like, I know there has to be some other scenarios. I just feel like these people or this person, they were just doing something sneaky or shady behind your back. And you're like, I'm not dealing with that anymore. You don't want to repeat that. You're not trying to feel that kind of pain anymore. And I say that's smart. But before we go, I wanted to pull a message from the message jar just to get a message for you to walk away with, okay? So Spirit, can we get one message for group 2? What can they walk away with from this reading? What's a message for group 2? Oh, okay. A message for group 2. Ooh, I love this. I love this. Your message says, slay them all. Slay them all, group 2, right? These people want to stop your shine. These people want to project. I don't know what these people's problem is, but they are the ops, right? They are the ops. So slay them all. Slay them with your presence, with your style, with your ambition, right? With your purpose. Okay, you know what I'm saying, group 2. So if you enjoyed this reading, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment. And if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, group 2. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen either the third image or this silver lock, okay? So let's just get into your reading. Your villain era is all about you kicking somebody to the curb. I'm hearing dependent. Somebody is dependent and you're not feeling it. You're not trying to support them. You're not trying to continue to let them live off of you. And I feel like you're making this choice, or you've already made this choice, because of something you found out about them, right? You found something out about this person that changes how you want to deal with them, right? You could have found out, well, let's just get into it, right? Because I didn't show a card. So the first card here is discovery, right? Discovery. And notice how in this card, she's walking up on this house, right? And so I feel like for many of you, this person lives with you. And I'm seeing that you could see that they either have another home or there's somewhere else that they go. Underneath here, we have sadness. And I feel like you're heartbroken about this for real. Like, I feel like you're still hurt by this, right? I definitely feel like you're doing your best to deal with it, but this is very hurtful. I feel like this is a deep betrayal, and you feel used by this person. I'm hearing taken advantage of. The way this person is cradling here, some of you even may have found out this person had another family or had children with somebody else. But either way, I'm seeing that either you have discovered or you will discover. Hopefully you've already discovered this, because I don't like breaking news like this. But you've discovered that this person has kind of been sneaking around behind your back, living some kind of double life, having some other kind of home away from you. With the Page of Cups, I'm seeing that what I notice a lot is about this person in this box, right? This little clown coming out of this rinky-dink box. And so I feel like this person is high-key like a bum. This could be like a hobosexual, or they just got bum tendencies. This is somebody that uses people for a place to stay or for a place to eat, right? This is the type of guy that has a drawer at every female house or every woman's house that he is involved with, because this is somebody who constantly needs a place to stay. So that's why I'm getting this energy of like, you've been kind of supporting this person, right? This person with their one little cup, they don't have that much to offer you, and you have quite a lot to offer them. All right. And I feel like you're basically going to be putting them on the streets, kicking them out. I heard on the curb. With this Five of Cups, I feel like this disappointment, this betrayal, what you find out about them, it's enough for you to just turn your back on this person, right? And so for the most part, you're a villain, because this person will no longer be able to rule you with illusions, because that's really what this is. This person wanted to be able to sell you a dream, right? Sell you a fantasy of a life that you guys will have together. Meanwhile, they're spread thin, or they're not even really worth what they say they are worth, or they don't really love you like they say they love you, right? With these cups here, the Page of Cups, to me is like, this is like immature. At most it's a little lusty, a little sensitive, right? Maybe a bit of a lover boy, but not really somebody who is really about it. This is somebody fickle. This is somebody who, they just like to be pet, right? They just like to have somebody touching their hair and rubbing their tummy. They don't really necessarily know what love is, or is mature enough to really give love. I see this as somebody who also performs. They put on a little show, right? You have to wind them up. Right? This is somebody that may have got you to chase them at one point, got you to put into them to get them to do a little whatever. This is somebody who they breadcrumb people. They dangle possibilities in front of people in order to be able to get access to them. But really, they don't have much to offer. So with this Five of Cups, I'm also getting you're not losing much, right? It's disappointing, but you're not losing much necessarily. And I also heard cut my losses, right? With this Five of Cups, like I said, you're not missing much. So you're part of your villain era is that you're not going to do too much fussing, or you're not doing a whole lot of fussing over this loss, right? You're just kind of going to take the L and move forward. You can take this L, right? It's not taking too much off of you, right? And you're seeing it that way. You're realizing this person contributed very little really to your life or your lifestyle. This person was honestly really only a bit of a burden, and you're better off without them, right? It's not like, and you are better off getting out of it now before they can cost you more, right? Right now they're not costing you much, but if you allow this person to stick around, if you allow yourself to forgive this person, they're going to cost you more in the long run when they don't really give back to you as much, right? What I thought was so interesting here is that you have the Ten of Cups and you also have the Ten of Pentacles, right? When I tell you, this person was not contributing anything to you or the relationship. This person was 100% using you because you have such a large supply. You could have your own large house, right? This could be you learning or realizing that this person is using you for a place to stay. Maybe your house isn't large, but maybe it's nice, right? Maybe it's just comfortable, right? Maybe you got AC, or you got heat, you got a big screen TV, you got an Alexa, right? This person likes your appliances. They like the utility of your lifestyle, right? They love that you got a big family with this Ten of Cups. They love that they can go to your family house and eat, or you got people that come over to your house and eat. I'm seeing people exchanging food and drinks. This person, they love that you have all these luxury items, that you have a nice fluffy bed. Maybe they don't have a nice fluffy bed, right? I'm seeing this person in this busted box, right? So I feel like your villain era is you cutting off the faucet. You cutting off all this pouring in that you've been doing to whoever this person is. And this could be multiple people. Maybe this is family members, right? Maybe these are family members you have to cut off because they trying to live off of you. They trying to eat all the food in your fridge, and they don't go to the grocery store, and they're not paying the grocery bill, right? They don't even want to leave you one honey bun. They ate all the honey buns, right? I'm getting this energy. It's like you were trying to be nice. You were trying to show love. You were trying to give because that's what you believe. You believe, but people will take advantage, and it will blow your mind because you're like, dang, you would think that somebody would be grateful and not take advantage of somebody who's trying to help them. But people will really, you give them an inch, they take a mile, and they don't feel any way about it. They don't feel remorseful. You know what I mean? And so part of your villain era is you recognizing that you are mother. You are the one with the resources, and you can give all of that to you. Your villain era is you understanding and resting in the reality that you are comfortable. You have everything you need, and you don't need to feed people who are not willing to feed you, right? This Starve card, I feel like this person, you maybe at one point you were more of a people pleaser, or you were more sensitive, and you would feel some type of way about kicking somebody out who don't have nowhere to go, quote unquote, right? You would feel moved, right? This person could affect your emotions, move your emotions to get you to let them back in or give them another chance, right? Here with Starve, you're shutting that shit off. You're not allowing somebody to trick your emotions, to get you all up in your feelings about them so that you'll forgive them, right? And maybe this is about a narcissist. Maybe somebody you're dealing with was a narcissist. They would try to appeal to your emotions, and you have to starve them out. You have to, I think it's called gray walling, where you basically like don't give them any type of reaction so that they can't get to you. You have to starve this person out of your resources, your time, your efforts, your energy, because they take advantage of it, right? This is you defending yourself against people who want to take advantage of your giving nature, right? You want it to help this person. This could even be your own child, right? You want to let them stay at home while they get their money up, but they want to break shit in your house, and they want to have strange people in your house, and they want to, you know, like I said, eat all the food in the fridge and not even leave you a honey bun, like, and you're like, look, man, I want you to be here, but can you show me some respect? I want you to be here, but can you help out around the house? I want you to be here, but can you work with me? But they don't want to work with you. They just want to, they feel somehow entitled to not doing this work with you. And so you're just like, I'm not going to give into this anymore. I'm going to starve them. So this could be you withholding, help, right? Not helping them, not answering the phone, withholding funds, withholding. You're just putting up boundaries that will force this person to, at the very least, not rely on you for whatever they've been relying on you for. So at the very least, this could be kicking them out. Like I said, this could be not giving them money, not driving them to work, whatever it is. Last here, we have love is a choice. And I feel like your villain era is like you really tapping into the understanding that you can make the rules, right? When it comes to the type of love you want, you can make the rules and stand by them on what kind of love you want. Now, that also means that if somebody don't want the same love as you, the best thing you can do is leave them alone, right? Not try and force them, but you can decide with somebody and say, you know what? You are not meeting the requirements to receive this from me. You're not meeting the requirements needed for you to receive that from me. You're talking to me this kind of way. You're moving this kind of way. This is grounds for me to revoke some certain types of access to me. I can choose if I do love you, and I can choose how to love you. Some people think that they can take advantage of your love because they'll just assume you just think that, you have to be unconditional, this and that. They don't expect you to have a bunch of criteria. Then if you have all this criteria for your love, then you're just heartless, and they don't want you to lay down a law, but you're going to be tapping into this understanding that you can lay down whatever law you want. You can choose what you're willing to put up with and what you are not going to do. Yes, I love you, son, but yes, I love you, daughter, but yes, I love you, honey, but I love me more. I love my peace more. I love what the fuck I got going on a bit more than I'm willing to deal with your bullshit, right? Some people want you to love them so much, you'll deal with endless bullshit. You'll get walked on all over forever and ever and ever. And it's like, no, honey, I have choices. I can shuffle around my priorities. I can put me right at the top. You're 18 now. I can put me at the top of my priorities. You want to talk crazy to me? Well, then I guess, I'm going to have to make some adjustments, because nobody deserves to get disrespected, especially when you're footing the bill, right? Especially when you are making sure somebody eat. As long as you're not taking advantage of that responsibility, you don't deserve to be talked to crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have for you to group 3. But before we go, I do want to get a message from the message jar. Just a message to take away with you with this reading, right? Spirit, can we get one message for group 3? What can they take away from this reading? Just something that they can take with them. One message for group 3. Oh, I think I'm coming down with something. Like, my throat feels... Ugh, I think I'm coming down with something. Ooh, write it down. Write it down. Okay. So Spirit is telling you to write it down. I feel like you may need to keep receipts of something, right? I'm hearing agreement, some type of written agreement. If you make an agreement with this person, something needs to be on record, written down. You need to have it in writing is what I'm getting. I'm also getting that you need to take some notes for reminders, right? Spirit wants you to, oh, I'm getting affirmations, right? So Spirit wants you to work with some affirmations as well. Maybe just in regards to healing. I'm not sure what you need affirmations for. It could be healing from this, or just maybe dealing with anxiety. But I'm definitely getting, so for some of you, maybe it's more of a legal matter, or maybe this has something to do, I don't know, there's something here. There's something here. For some of you, you have a serious, it's more serious than others. But anyway, you guys will interpret that how you need to interpret it. So if you enjoyed this reading and or it resonated, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, Group 3.